Okay, I'm here with Luca again, and we're going to talk about how you can use a Martingale collar to stop your dog from being all over the place on a walk. Now, this is not going to teach your dog to walk in a loose leash. This is actually just a little stopgap measure. We would prefer that you actually set up an in-home session with us so we can show your dog how to walk with a loose leash without needing a tool like this. Now, we like using this, it's called a Martingale. As you see, it looks like a figure 8. Now, this is a non-pain causing device. Unfortunately, most of the trainers in Omaha still practice the old form of dog training, which is called dominance theory. Dominance theory is rewarding the dog when it does the right thing and punishing it when it does the wrong thing. A lot of these trainers use what's called a prong or a pinch collar. It has little prongs that actually poke into the puppy or the dog's neck. I've never used them. They're illegal in almost every country in the world except for, I think, the United States, Afghanistan, and like Iraq. So I mean, really good company we're keeping there. Now the reason I don't like using it is because it works by causing the dog pain and discomfort when it pulls on the leash. But dogs learn through association. So if I pull on the leash just because I see another dog, I'm excited because I want to go run and meet that other dog, and I get a pain in my neck, the way dogs' minds work, a lot of times the dog's like, that dog pinched me in the neck. And it can actually cause your dog to start forming aggressive behaviors. Now, the other thing is it also results in cortisol, which is the stress hormone, being released into the dog's blood. Now, I look at it, your dog, if you hire somebody to help you teach your dog, the title is dog trainer, not dog punisher. So this is why we suggest people use this. You should never ever use a prong collar on a puppy, and personally I've rehabilitated thousands of dogs and have never needed to use one. Now I'm going to show you how to add what we call a special twisted leash, and that's the reason this works so well. Yes, he's a little bit rambunctious, he wants to play. Alright, so what we do is we put your dog's collar through this Martingale collar, and we have these available for you in class like we talked about. So what we want to do is position it so the small loop is right here on the spine. Now I'm going to have our puppy class instructor, Anna, come over with a different camera, so if you see somebody in the shop, that's why. So basically what we're going to do is put it on the dog's spine like this. We're going to take a regular straight 4-foot leash. It has no bells and whistles to it. We're going to take it and run it around the dog's chest. Then we're going to put it through the Martingale. Always go through the small loop towards the head, never go towards the butt. Otherwise it won't release as well. Now, a lot of dogs will jump, bite on it like this a little bit. That's normal, that's okay. Now, when you're doing this, make sure it's right here in the dog's armpits. And it goes underneath both, in both armpits, so it goes all the way under the chest. A lot of people do, I'll show you from the front, what the mistake a lot of people do is they go underneath, I know, Luca, one armpit and then go this way. So make sure it's behind both arms and through the loop towards the head. All right, so this is how you put it on, and if you read my write-ups online, I refer to this as the special twisted leash. By the way, this is the rig that almost every humane society in the United States uses because they don't have time to teach a dog to walk with a loose leash, but they have to take it out on a walk. So the position, I'm going to have Anna come and look at this from the top. If you do it from the top, you should see an X with an O in the middle of it. So X, oh, I'm sorry, Luca. Did I catch you in the wrong spot, buddy? There we go, that's a good puppy, yes. So we go an X with an O in the middle of it. There you go. Yes, I'm sorry about that, Luca. We don't want to cause any pain. We just got done talking about not doing that, didn't we? Yes, raise that tail up. So if you do have a puppy that gets afraid of something, stop what you're doing. Give your puppy a little attention. Let it know that, hey, what we're doing is not a bad thing. If you just keep on soldiering along, you'll make your dog fearful of whatever it is. I do this professionally, and I made him a little bit upset, so I'm taking the time to do it. You're probably going to do that to your dog. Take the time. Okay, now the 5 rules that I've been telling people for what I call a structured walk are what I'm going to go over right now. But before I do that, I want to talk about the dog's nose. Dogs smell the way that we see. I see the wall that blends into the frame, that blends into the cabinet, that blends into the handle, and so on and so forth. That's how dogs smell things. Now, for dogs, to tell a dog to walk on a loose leash and go on a walk and not sniff anything would be akin to us, like, let's say one of your friends says, look, I'm going to take you to a special store. You're going to love the store. It's going to have the coolest stuff that you've ever seen. And you go in the store, and it is. Everything, single thing you see is the coolest thing you've ever seen in your life, and you wouldn't want it. But as soon as you look at it, you have a big security guard that comes, taps you on the shoulder, and goes, if you look at that again, I'm going to tase you. Well, you probably not want to go to that store again, even though it's the coolest stuff ever. So having your puppy walk without being to sniff would be cruel. However, a dog's nose controls 60% of their brain. So if you let them sniff, because dogs can't multitask, your dog cannot pay attention to it even if you're holding a steak. So how do we solve this conundrum? What I do is I incorporate a sniffing period for 1 minute every block of the walk. If you're on a trail or something, like if you're in California watching this in Running Canyon or something like that, maybe just every 10 minutes you give your puppy a free. What I do is I undo the special twist of the leash like this, and I let my puppy go around and I tell it free, and I let it sniff around. It can do a little bit of business, it can sniff, so it has a little bit of fun. You should think about this the same way as if you have kids. If you eat your meat, you can have a little pudding afterwards. I know, we're gonna give you some pudding, but not human pudding. That would not be good for you. So once we're done with the free period, we're gonna wrap this back up, and then we're gonna continue our walk. All right, now what we wanna do is make sure that we assign a right or left side for the dog. So the dog knows I'm always walking on the right side. Now Luca's side is on the right. Now eventually you can walk your dog on both sides, but right now it's a lot of stuff, a lot of distractions, so it'll be easier for you if you get your puppy used to walking on one side. Now, since he's walking on the right, this is, again, I talked about, it's a 4-foot leash. Most people get a 6-foot leash. Whoever's in front is perceived to be in charge. So if you let your puppy walk in front of you, you're telling your puppy you're in charge, and I promise you, teaching your puppy it's in charge will cause a lot of problems. So the idea is we want to keep the puppy so that he's positioned, so his shoulder is aligned with my hip. I'm going to do this from a kneeling position now so you can just see the position. So I put my hand through the loop, and I wrap it around the palm of my hand until I get a short leash. I don't want a tense leash, I want a short leash. And so it's a straight line going from here up to my hand. Now I'm gonna keep my arm going straight down, nice and loose. I never pull from behind. If he lags from behind, I let my arm go limp like spaghetti and I keep walking, and eventually the leash will get tense and he'll come with me. Now a couple dogs I've worked with will really they'll throw a temper tantrum. And I'm just sitting down, I'm not walking, and good luck. Go to grass. I don't want to say this, and this sounds really bad. Drag them a little bit so they understand that they can't stop. But if they stop and you stop, they just learned I can stop the human, and you're not going to have productive walks. Every dog I've done this that does the protest, after like dragging them for about 10 or 15 feet, again, put them in grass where we're not going to hurt them, they just get up and they follow along. If they bite the leash, just stop and wait. All right, are you ready to do a little walking demo? All right, so I'm going to get up. So again, now I'll talk about the 5 rules for a structured walk. Rule number 1 is keep your dog in position, in this case on the right side. His shoulder is aligned with my hip. If I let him in front of me, the correction for this is to pull up very quickly. If I let him go in front of me and I pull up, I'm actually going to be pulling back, and that's going to create a pulling forward effect for the dog. So the correction is to go straight up. So rule number 1, stay in your position. Rule number 2, no tension on the leash. A lot of people start going like this. See how I have tension on the leash here? That's going to activate his opposition reflex, and he's going to pull against me. He doesn't have any choice. It's not personal. That's how dogs are programmed. So the more you pull on the leash, the more they're going to pull you. This is the same science as swaddling a baby. The constriction around the chest helps the dog feel relaxed, the same way it does for a human baby. We're going to wrap them up like a burrito. So that's part of why this works. Rule number 1, stay in position. Rule number 2, loose hand, loose arm. Rule number 3, when I correct, I'm going to go up as fast as I can, and I'm going to go down even faster. The mistake a lot of people do is they go like this. Well, that's more of a tug, and that's going to cause the dog to pull, and also the timing is really slow. As you see me walk, when I start walking, I'm going to be very quick going up and down. The idea is almost like giving him like a tap on the shoulder. Hey, pay attention to me. Okay, so stay in position, loose leash. The last rule is no stopping and sniffing unless it's the free period. If he stops to sniff, I let my arm go limp and just keep walking. All right, Emma, how about you walk kind of this way and walk parallel with us, and Taylor's just going to watch us. We're going to walk back and forth towards the camera. All right, so Emma, if you want to kind of be a little bit further away so you can see us from both on the side. So again, if he lags behind, I don't pull. Pop. But I always turn away from the dog, and I walk this way. Again, my arm is nice and relaxed and loose. And Luke is doing very well because he's practicing this. I turn, so again, I let my arm go limp. He gets in front. Pop. There we go. Now let's say that Luca is really excited to see another dog or a squirrel or something. He goes bananas. I have a lot more control of the dog with this constriction. Now the constriction will help him feel more relaxed, but the positioning of this around the chest will help give you more control. Now, Luca is a short-haired dog. If you have a short-haired dog, you'll notice they're starting to lose fur here and here. You can just get a tube sock, cut off the end, and put it right here and put the sleeve through, the leash through it, so it creates a bit of a sleeve so it doesn't irritate them. Very few dogs that's a problem with, but occasionally it is. like I said, the main thing is don't pull your dog in position. So if you find yourself flexing with your arm bending like this, you're putting tension on a leash. It needs to be nice and relaxed. Okay, well, this is how you can use a martingale to stop your dog from pulling on a leash.